Good morning, 819S. Another hot day. 30 degrees right now with the high of 33. The weather report said 34 earlier, but it says 33 now. I'm not sure exactly what changed, but I think it's still going to be scorching. Whew. Which leads me to an interesting topic, or at least in my opinion it's interesting. That is hydration. Obviously, when it's this hot and you're riding, you're going to get dehydrated. There's something that some people don't really understand. I guess I didn't the first time I went riding in a really hot day. And that is, when it's this hot and you're moving, the airflow over your skin can evaporate your sweat very quickly. And it seems like you're not sweating as much as if you were just walking around, because it evaporates almost immediately. Wow, that thing's pretty sick. What is that? And as a result, people can end up getting dehydrated a lot faster than they're expecting. In Japan, there's a lot of different sports drinks, but I think the main two are called Pocari Sweat and Aquarius. Typically, people prefer one over the other. Their flavors are similar, but obviously they're different brands, so they're a little bit different. I'm a Pocari Sweat guy. My wife is an Aquarius lady. She prefers Aquarius. There's other brands out there too, of course. So I think drinking enough to keep you hydrated is a really critical thing for staying safe in this kind of hot weather. I did bring a Camelback with me when I was riding sometimes. Camelbacks are not that popular in Japan. If you do go to hiking stores and outdoor stores, you can find them. But I think that a lot of other people don't know what they are. I went riding with a group of older Japanese guys about 7 years ago, and I had it on, and as we were riding, I just popped the straw into my mouth and take a sip. We went for a really long ride through Izu, and it was perfect. I really, really loved it. I use it sometimes when I'm going on really long rides, and I just fill it with water and a little bit of ice. So the word ice really made me remember something that's kind of critical too. If you have everything in your top box, or I have a bag, the top bag on my CRF and on my scooter, the sun beating down on that drink is going to heat it up. So if you take something out of the refrigerator and put it in that bag, it's most likely going to get really, really, really hot. I found two interesting solutions to this, and actually you can combine both of them. One is using a freezer bag, like a thermal bag, the one that has like an aluminum lining that's made for carrying frozen foods home from the supermarket. That works really well. It's insulated, right? So it will keep the cold on the inside and prevent the heat from it warming the bottle up. The other one is go to the convenience store and don't check the refrigerator section. Go off to the side and check the freezer section. The freezer section usually has completely frozen bottles of drinks. It's usually Aquarius or Pocari Sweat. It's lemon water. There's some salty seasonal drinks sometimes, like a salty ume drink or a salty plum drink or a salty lychee drink or something. And they're frozen completely solid, kind of dangerously solid. It's like pulling a brick out of the freezer. And if you, for example, right now it's 9:44 in the morning. If you threw that in your top box at 9:44, probably around 11 o'clock, it would be thawed enough to drink. Probably by 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, it's already warm again. So if you throw one of those in a cooler bag with your drink that's ready to drink now, you can keep the drink that you want to drink now cool, and you can also have something that you can drink later that's going to be cold. The deeper you go into the countryside, the more water you need, because the farther and farther you get between convenience stores or supermarkets or things like that. So being prepared, making sure you have enough water. If you really want to be a good Samaritan, you can bring a few extra bottles of water, and then if you see other people who seem to be sweating or people broke down on the side of the road or something like that, you can have stuff that you can share with other people. but I think that's going a little bit too far. You don't really need that. I typically don't ride with nothing like I am now. I do wear a mesh jacket. That's all mesh. Long sleeve mesh. It has very, very light protectors for the elbows and shoulders. It's not so protective, but one thing it does is it keeps the UV off of my skin directly, so it absorbs some of the UV before it hits my body. Which can help keep temperatures down. And mesh is great because it allows airflow, so you can still sweat and you can still breathe. Your skin can still breathe, but you're not going to be sunburned or something like that. And actually, now that I mentioned that, another really good thing to do when you're going on a long ride is throw some sunscreen on, especially your neck, arms, anything that's exposed. The UV seems to be getting hotter and hotter. The UV seems to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger these days, so yeah. If you want to stay safe, there's a lot of preparation you got to do in this season. Another thing Japanese people do is carry a towel with them. You'll see people walking around in summer with towels because you're sweating so much. Again, that should be an indicator to you that you're sweating a lot and that you need to rehydrate. Another sign of dehydration is sleepiness or tiredness, like a low energy. Obviously, headaches could be another one too, depending on how dehydrated you are. But there's a lot of signs to pay attention to, and if you feel like you're getting dehydrated, it's definitely worth it to stop, pull over, get a drink. And like I talked about yesterday, the prices of things keeps going up and up and up. I think you'll find that going to the convenience store is going to be the most expensive route, but it's convenient, and you can get, especially you can get frozen things. I don't think a lot of supermarkets sell those frozen things. And in the middle of the countryside, if you don't want to carry, 10 bottles of a drink with you, then you can stop and buy them in the countryside. Another nice tip is to buy the 1.5 liter or 2 liter bottles. 1.5 liter, 2 liter bottles are sometimes the same price, or in very rare cases, sometimes cheaper than the 500 milliliter bottles. Again, depending on where you buy it. So if you bought a 500 milliliter bottle from 7-Eleven, you're probably going to pay more for it than if you bought a 1.5 liter bottle from the supermarket. So again, if you're being price conscious, definitely go shopping before that. And there is a mark on the bottle that says whether it's freezable or not. Pay attention to that, because if you want to buy some at the supermarket, you can freeze them yourself at home. Therefore, you have something frozen to take with you on the drive. A debate my friends and I sometimes have is whether it's better to go to the mountains or go to the ocean, to go to the sea on hot days. Well, I think in general, but on hot days too. And I prefer the mountains. So if you go into the mountains, you tend to be at a little higher altitude. Higher elevation typically means that it's a little cooler. And I think the natural shade of the trees and the humidity and everything of the forest can really, really hold some cold temperatures. It's a really great thing if you're not really a big fan of hot weather like me. The mountains are definitely the way to go. If you want a little bit more beautiful views or a change of pace, the sea is good. In my opinion, if you're going out to the sea or the ocean, seaside, the coast, it's probably better to go in the afternoon or evening. Your mileage may vary, but that's typically what works for me. A car behind me did not let that white van merge. He just kind of pushed his way in. That dude, you always got to be on the lookout for bad drivers here. The last topic is a way to stay cool, right? I think I talked about it a little bit, a mesh jacket, things like that. There are also jackets made for construction workers that have fans in them. There are 2 electric fans, and then you need a battery pack. And the theory is the fans pump the jacket full of air, the air circulates out, therefore you always have air circulating over your body. I've heard of riders using those for rides. I think that they have the same issue that I was talking about it earlier, and that is you sweat, the sweat will evaporate and dissipate pretty quickly, therefore you don't realize how much you're sweating, and it may seem like you're staying cooler and you're not really dehydrated, but when the decision-making skill slows down and you start getting headaches or you start feeling extremely tired, I think then is when you're going to realize that, yeah, you got dehydrated and you didn't even realize it. So, you can try those if you're really, really sensitive to heat. I don't think that they're really worth it in my opinion. That's why I've never tried one. But, if you do try it, let me know. And finally, my question is for everyone out there. What do you do to stay hydrated in summer? And what do you do to stay cool and to protect yourself on summer rides? Definitely let me know. Leave a comment down below. And if there's another topic you'd like me to talk about in a future video, definitely throw it down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Get out there and ride. Definitely ride safe.